Well, this year, for the first time since 1955, Trooping of the Colour did not take place in its traditional form. Instead, the Queen's birthday has been marked by a unique, socially distant ceremony at Windsor Castle.
Royal commentator Neil Sean was there and joins us now. Neil, good to see you. Tell us about the day.
What a day, actually, Richard, Becky. Yeah, I mean, it was the perfect, beautiful English summer's day. Yeah. Such a shame that it was such a pared-down event. But Major General Chris Beaker put this together. 85 Welsh Guards. It was put together within about 2.5 weeks, simply because the Queen herself said she wanted to go ahead. Very much a stickler for tradition, didn't really care what they did, but they had to do something. This was backed up by the British PM, Boris Johnson. And I thought they did a spectacular job. She really looked, though, like she was actually enjoying it because it was kind of very intimate. So she was able to take it all in, whereas normally she's surrounded by so many people, of course, travelling in the famous coach and then on the balcony. So it was a spectacular event, well put together, too.
Oh, they are spectacular pictures, that's for sure. How did the whole royal family adapt to the new rules and restrictions?
Well, it's very difficult, isn't it, for all of us? I mean, that's the whole problem, you know. Normally she would be surrounded by all of her loving family on the balcony. Oh, that's a big day for her, of course. It's a big day, you know, in England. And let me point out as well that even though we had a form of Trooping of the Colour, we have lost, shall we say, a lot of money, or the royals have lost, the tourism industry have lost, simply because, you know, we don't have tourists flying in, all the fans outside waving and cheering. Even Windsor, it was very strange, you know, it was a very subdued place. And what was going on behind, of course, the castle walls, although people could hear it, there weren't many people there simply because they were all asked to stay away for social distancing.
Beautiful sad, really. Part of the world. Lovely day, too. You say the Queen seemed to be enjoying herself, but there was still plenty of pomp and pageantry despite the sort of scaled-down affair, wasn't there?
Oh, there was, yeah. I mean, that was the great thing, you know, Richard, because this is what we do well, and that's what the public really want to see. And what I liked was that they had really wanted to make a special day of this. They played a favourite piece of music by Her Majesty the Queen called Six Crowns, the band did, and that was last heard in 1995, and previous to that, 1973. So they really knew how to make something special. But I just sort of felt that she looked a tad lonely sat there. Again, she has to be socially distanced. Yeah, Becky. She just looked so, you know, I wanted to somebody to go up and say, here's a piece of cake, it's your birthday, you know?
well, Neil, that's the point. I mean, she would have been surrounded by all of her family and friends. Was there actually any talk, was Harry and Meghan going to be there? Was there any suggestion? I mean, they couldn't get there for obvious reasons, but if we weren't in the middle of a pandemic, was there any call for them to be there, maybe?
No, not at all, actually. As non-working royals, you know, they're out the picture. But we do know that, of course, you know, the rest of the senior royal family, you know, she has the Duke of Edinburgh self-isolating with her at Windsor. We have His Royal Highness Prince Charles up in Scotland, and Kate and William are out in Kensington, of course, and they've all been doing messages. And as we saw earlier this week, Becky, you know, the Queen did her very first Zoom conference, so she's very much a 21st century Queen, without a doubt.
Yes, but obviously keeping her distance, which is highly and entirely appropriate under the circumstances. Neil, you're across it all. As always, we appreciate your time. Thank you very much.